Hey everyone, and welcome to the Blockchain Hustler. My name is Tim, and I will be your host here today. So, Blockchain Hustler is a show where people in the blockchain and crypto industry get to hear the inside stories from various leaders. Today, here with us, we have Ingi, who is the founder of Liminal.Market. And we are going to go into a bit of how he got started, some tips that he has about building in Web3 and in crypto. And yeah, super excited to have you here today.
Yeah, hi. I'm Ingi. I'm the CEO and founder of Liminal.Market. Basically, we are securities trading platform or protocol. But we built this bridge between the stock market and Web3, so kind of allowing you to trade stocks on chain.
Yeah, it's a very interesting niche there within the market because there's definitely a need for it, and when more value things is put on chain, it's a very interesting approach. So maybe before we jump into the specifics there, maybe you can tell us a bit about your background and how you first got in contact with the crypto and Web3 industry.
Yeah, I mean, I started in the IT business professionally in 1998, so I've been doing this for 25 years. I created the websites and CMS system and that kind of stuff. In 2000, I made a website for parents where they could kind of upload their photos and blog about their kids, and this became kind of huge and popular website. Then pivoted into kind of this eBay Craigslist type of website, which it is still today. And in 2015, I became a CTO of a company called Vidu, which was kind of umbrella company for three kind of e-commerce websites. This one that I started, and then Groupon of Iceland and Amazon of Iceland. And I mean, this was like a huge task to do.
Yeah,
we had everything made at home, and but we were kind of four good guys most of the times that really made it work really well. So it was great times doing that.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
I left that. Yeah, I left that.
I can imagine because there's a lot. When I speak with various founders in Web3 and in crypto, a lot of them have like an tech background, creating website and this very technical side. Maybe you can talk a bit about about that, like how that also led you towards the crypto market.
Yeah, I mean, so I left this company in 2021, and I knew that I wanted to do something in blockchain, so I wanted to take a break. I had 6 months planned break, not do nothing. 3 months later, I was started already. So I started I looked into this blockchain thing. I thought to myself, I should know something about this Bitcoin. I'm a technologist. I should know something about this. So I started in January 21, bought my first coins, played around with it a little bit, but I'm not really a trader. I just lost money, and it's not really something that interests me, but being involved in it, and it made me understand it, and I started to look into code and see how the structure was, how the architecture was, and I just remember like this one moment, 10 o'clock in the evening, I had this oh my god moment, this is going to change the whole financial system. So it kind of changes your mind, when you have that. But I started first with services like Uniswap, and had Trust Wallet and traded a little bit there. But that was kind of it.
Yeah, I remember my first interaction. It was back in 2017, and my first interaction was with OneCoin, which was, I did not actually invest, but I remember listening to one of these presentations. And then I remember it because the swap that you don't have to have a bank that is in the middle, and you can own your own money without having another person that you have to trust. Then the first project, the OneCoin, I think it was a week ago too, I read some report about that the founder had been murdered on a yacht, or there were some reports about it, like from it was also like a big Ponzi scheme, which is kind of like an interesting system, because they are very good at getting people to come in and to join the ecosystem. But then the people that stay are the people that build and that create things. And right now, of course, we are in a bear market, and a lot of these people that are just investors might have left, but there's lots of builders that are here, like building products and building new systems. So
one thing regarding that, like I mean, you own the money and all of that, but I'm looking at this more of a technology kind of way. You know, you are saving a lot of resources by using this technology and making everything much more simpler in a technology kind of way. You know, just setting up servers to, you know, talk to other services. This can be quite difficult to manage, quite expensive, you know, just security wise, it's very complicated. And then suddenly you have this kind of platform where, you know, you can write everything in a couple of lines. You know, and so you're going from dozens of servers into a couple of lines of code. And this kind of, for me, is just tells me, you know, we will go there, because anybody that is managing software and sees this, he immediately says, okay, we should do this instead of the other way.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense, and that's kind of why, kind of what usually happens when you have new technologies that replaces past ones, because then if you have a better system, then often it will take hold. And this is kind of what you're working here with Liminal.Market, to allow people to buy and sell stocks and NFTs using blockchain. Can you give like a very quick overview of how it works and some of the benefits that the end user will actually get from being able to buy and sell stocks?
So yeah, like you say, it's kind of, you know, you're buying and selling stocks and ETFs kind of, but the kind of key difference between other platforms is that I'm using this underlying technology, you know, blockchain. So our kind of job is to kind of monitor that blockchain and sending your orders to the market to actually buy. And then when we buy that shares for you, we write that information onto the chain. Now, being a bridge between the stock market and Web3, it allows us to have like 5,500 stocks immediately on chain. Now, it's more than anybody else has had, and you actually own the share. You know, you own the underlying asset, which means you get dividends, you get voting rights.
It's an interesting approach, because when you work as a bridge, then you can make sure that you get out the volume, and 5,000, that's very impressive. And I can imagine that a lot of the crypto traders also wants to diversify, because as any wise person, you don't want to put everything into just crypto. And
Absolutely.
I've been talking with some business founders, and some of them were like accepting Ethereum for their prices, and then some of them were also holding it, because they were like, okay, so let's hold it. And a lot of these companies have not been doing so well in this time, because if you hold just in crypto and it starts to go down, and you have also priced your services in crypto, and then it just starts to go down, which has not been like so nice to a lot of companies and individuals as well. So it's a very good like way of diversifying, to go into crypto, as well as being able to use blockchain to make it easier, so that you can like trade with 5,000 stocks right away, and also that you can also get fractional shares when instead of having to buy, let's say, full Berkshire Hathaway, which is a few thousand. If I'm not mistaken.
Yes, you basically buy the dollar amount that you want to buy.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's an interesting approach. So, how far have you come so far when it comes to the launch and the development, as well as what are the plans for the future? Let's say for 2023 and 2024.
So right now we are running on testnet. We have fully operational there, where we are talking basically to the sandbox at the broker. You can buy and sell, and when you register, you get your a little money from us that you can play with within the system. So that's kind of where we are at this stage. Regarding kind of the future, we have big plans. We want to allow locking of the stocks, and when we do that, this basically enables taking loans on top of us and using your stocks as collaterals. We can create wrapping services, that allows anybody to trade the stocks. And also other DeFi services can use our technology to kind of enable their users to trade, and then they can get revenue from that. So the goal is kind of quite big, and Liminal is kind of in that vision, big part of that vision. But you have to do like 100,000 stuff first. There are small and big things that you have to do. So to do all those plans, there are a lot of things to get them realized.
Yeah, but it's important to like as a business to have a long-term vision that the community and that the people can see clearly where you want to go, but then start executing. Executing is definitely the key in order to be able to grow and in order to be able to go to market, because the market is not kind towards the talkers. People that talk is
the thing is, with this new space, it's such a new thing. There are so many opportunities that you can really become overwhelmed over opportunities that are available, and you can see 2-3 years into the future, I can see where Liminal is going to go in that period of time, but you have to kind of, okay, now I need to focus. Let's just, let's get this done. What needs to be done.
Yeah, because it's an execution is key to be able to take a project to the market, because otherwise, if you of course, you need to get in the users and get people to understand the vision and the long term. But then it's down to execution, delivering on the products, delivering on the value. Because, like for example, being able to buy stocks with using the blockchain, as well as being able to fractionalize stocks, as well as having a wage like access to 5,000 stocks, as well as being able to in the future take loan against your stocks. It's the loan part is something that is very dangerous especially in a bear market, but there is a lot of time where it makes sense, and it is definitely a valuable product that to offer in the space.
Yes, absolutely.
All right. So how do you see liminal markets interacting with the future of like DeFi, and how do you see it fitting into that ecosystem over the long term?
Yeah. Like DeFi itself, it's huge. So who knows what that will bring us, but kind of in liminal area, the vision is just the US stock market. It's 100 times bigger than the crypto market. And those that are watching this and listening to this, that it's not if, but it's when people are moved into this platform. So being the first one to kind of offer this service is huge. You have Uniswap first, Maker first, Aave first, Chainlink first. It's a huge thing, and I have that here. And with all the kind of added services that can be built on top of our use case, we will need, KYC, we need stable coins, built on top of this, wrapping services and loan services. So, and it's all because this Liminal is providing this fundamental service. So, and then, if you look even further into the future, Nasdaq will end up being on chain as well. And what we will basically then just do is, instead of talking to the broker, we talk straight to them, and the cost just goes down hugely and everybody wins.
Yeah, it's an interesting part there, because when you compare like the crypto market of around $1 trillion, and you compare that with, let's say, the bond market, which is I believe hundreds of trillions. Stock markets are like
stock market is like 150 trillion per day, and they're open between 9 and 4:30.
Yeah, and just if you compare it with especially like the commodity market as well, like gold, I think has a market value of 8 trillion. So the vision is here, and crypto is growing and growing and growing, but it's starting from a very small point. And what's kind of the main key here is that you can make normal things that people do so much more efficient, so much easier to interact with.
Yes, and we are still just building that infrastructure. You can't trade commodities or bonds on chain. We are just building that infrastructure, and then when we start to see the services built on top of that infrastructure, then we will really see the mass coming over. When it's going to be really smooth and, like you say, like simpler for everybody.
Yeah. No, I 100% agree, and I think that's kind of like the simplifying things and taking various parts of the market is a very interesting approach. And of course, the LiminalMarket, when you're like, tokenizing your stock portfolio, there is a market for it, and I'm very excited to see what will happen over the coming 3 years ahead, because there is so much things that they're building, so much money that is going into this ecosystem, and there will be a demand, and it's always easier to build a product when you have the wave coming behind you, instead of like the market is on the decline. And very interesting times to be in the crypto market.
Excellent.
So to finish off this interview today, lots of interesting parts, and the audience here talking about if you want to in the future to be able to buy and trade and sell stocks using the blockchain, LiminalMarket will be one of the platforms to go to. Where can we best find you and also learn more about LiminalMarket?
Well, you can go to my website, Liminal.Market. That's where all the information is, and you can kind of play with the tool there.
All right, awesome. And also on Twitter, I follow you. Do you have what's your handle on Twitter that we can follow?
So we have Liminal_Market. That's our handle.
Okay, awesome. But everybody here, let's make sure to give them a follow and check out and be part of tokenizing the stock market. So thank you so much, Ingi, for being here today.
Thank you.
And then I wish you a great rest of the day.
Yeah, you too.